Hi everybody, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about SurveyMonkey. I get a lot of questions about the way that I set up SurveyMonkey to do my study, so I just wanted to point out a couple of things related to setting up your screening questions, your informed consent, and also how you collect email addresses for a random drawing for a gift card, which those were things that I did in my study. So when a participant clicks my survey link, the very first thing that they have to answer is 4 screening questions. These are tied to my inclusion criteria, so the participants need to answer yes to indicate that they fit my inclusion criteria and are part of my target population before they can move on to the informed consent. So you'll see here, are they US based? Are they in an instructional design role? Are they full-time employee? And are they willing to answer personally identifiable demographic questions? Okay. When they answer yes to all of those, then they will go to the informed consent. Now, your Word document that goes to IRB is like 3 pages long with all the details and the information. And you can't cut and paste that as is into SurveyMonkey. You've got to break it up. So I broke mine up into 4 different sections. So this first part actually falls into, here's the page title, which is informed consent, all on a page by itself. And then I put a bunch of information into the page description, okay? So the first part of the informed consent is all here in the page description, and I put in as much as I could before it cut off the text. There's a certain number of characteristics. So then what I did is the next section, I added a text box, you can see here, and I added the next sections of the informed consent, okay? You will have to go in and reformat anything bold, bold italics. You'll have to do that. And then I had to add one little bit more of a text box to cover the last few pieces. Okay. Then to get to the answer the question of whether or not they agree or disagree with the informed consent, I created a question. And this is the voluntary consent section on your informed consent that talks about the participant's rights. And I included all of that. And then at the bottom, we did, as a multiple choice, I gave them 2 choices, agree or disagree to the informed consent, okay? And you can set the logic, so if they say disagree, the study ends. And if they agree, then they move on to the demographic questions, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is if you are doing a random drawing for gift cards or some sort of incentive and you want your participants to provide an email address, you can do like I did and just add a question at the end of the survey. Remember, this is optional, so you cannot require them to give you the email address, and you have already mentioned this in your informed consent that it's an option for them. But repeat here, to participate, please provide your email address. Don't provide it if you don't want to participate in the drawing. It's just kind of a reminder. And that's the last thing that they do. All the email addresses will show up on your data and download, into Excel or SPSS. Okay, so those are the 3 big things that I get questions on. Hopefully this is helpful for you, and good luck with your dissertation.